What advice would you give to somebody who's in a relationship or dating someone who has experienced severe emotional trauma, usually maybe in their childhood?
No, okay.
So how do you deal with that?
The thing is, when you've been traumatized in your childhood, you can't help but look for trauma in adulthood. So you'll look for somebody who will reincarnate that trauma. Somebody, say, for example, parent is abusive, you look for an abusive partner. Parent is absent, you look for an absent partner. You owe yourself the right to feel loved in the correct way. So select wisely. Selection is everything. Try not to, because what happens is when you've been traumatized, somebody who feels familiar, even though it's chaotic and horrible, you'll be drawn to them because it feels familiar. And you label that as chemistry. And somebody who's nice, consistent, and caring, you see as boring. And you're like, oh, I don't want that. You owe yourself to look for peace, not pleasure. Because in the long run, that peace will give you that comfort you always craved as a child. But that chaos will rehash all the traumas and you are left feeling so low. So you owe yourself that experience of love if you didn't get it as a child. Try and think about it like that. That child that in you that's been hurt and traumatized needs love. Go to somebody who gives it, not somebody who reminds that child that they're unworthy. Because that's what the people tend to do. They reincarnate all the horrible things.
I wouldn't say I've had experience of that specifically, but I have been seeing, or I've been in a relationship with someone who had a very narcissistic mother. And that...
It's traumatizing, right?
Would you class that as being...
Absolutely. What happens in that narcissistic child there is either that they become a bit narcissistic or they accept narcissism towards them. So they accept somebody who doesn't value them, makes them earn their love, really abusive, really negative, and they see that as normal. And if they get that narcissist to love them, it's almost like getting their mum to love them. So they're almost up for the challenge, but they're re-abusing themselves. So it doesn't work out, unfortunately.
Unless you're really narcissistic.
Unless you're really
then it's going to be great.
It all works. Then it all works well, go perfectly. But it is unfortunate how you can't pick your childhood, but you're stuck with it for the rest of your life. It's unfortunate.